Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on Archive D-Style here. Tuning in another Sunday here. I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit. Quick updates for those listening on Archive really quick, okay? I am not going to come – I'm not going to have a set schedule for this week. It doesn't mean I'm not coming on. It doesn't mean anything like that. Just don't, the 10 p.m. Eastern time slot. I am going to maybe come on some of those days. I'm not sure. Okay. Because I'm not sure, I can't have anyone dedicated to that day. So that's why there'll be no co-host this week. So it's going to be me coming on solo for this week. I'm not even sure how active I'm going to be. I'm a little burnt out. All right. It's not really with YouTube, just in general. I'm very busy, and it's hard to kind of do this and everything else I got going on. So just to keep a good balance, I need to have mentally need to know that I'm not, scheduled to come on those 4 days. It's something I need. Well, that's it. Appreciation Week. All right. It is going to be our Executioner Week, starting September 6th to September 13th. All right. Make sure you get your last rites, ladies and gentlemen. You will be executed come September 6th. No, that can't be. No, I'm not. It doesn't matter. You're going to get executed. But I'm innocent these times. It doesn't matter. You're going to get executed. Okay. But I don't want to be hot. It doesn't matter. You're going to get executed. All right. All right. So there was some controversy, which I want to address. What's going on to Dark Truth? Jose Mendoza and Cooley. We're going to get to the title here, but I want to just make these announcements really quick. It will be Executioner Week. I know that there's been some controversy, okay? All right. What I don't think it's that controversial. I think it's pretty clear. B-Hop was clearly winning the poll, and then some sock puppet accounts started voting for Cotto, and then sock puppet accounts started voting for Hopkins, so on and so forth. Okay, I need to address how we're going to pick Appreciation Weeks moving forward because of that. Okay, but it will be Bernard Hopkins Week. All right, that's going to start on the 6th of September. All right, all the way to the 13th, and we'll get back to the regular schedule at that point. All right. Just making that announcement. Let me know what do you think about B-Hop Week. All right. We're going to get to that in a moment. The Eliminator, Kelly Pavlik, Johnny Tapia, Arturo Gatti, and Vernon Forrest. That's going to be the Eliminator. All right. I might keep voting for the Eliminator a thing still. We will see. I don't like the fact somebody can create 30 sock accounts and vote for one dude. I just don't like that. Okay, I'm being 100% honest, right? That's not majority rule. That's not what people watching the channel want. That's what one or two people want, all right? So it's like I appreciate the enthusiasm, but that's not going to roll here. So we have to pick some other way to do it. And no, we're not going to put – if I did Mike Alvarado, bro, Mike Alvarado TBE would create like 100 sock accounts just to make sure Mike Alvarado, all right, would get through. We're going to move on with that, okay? Those announcements are those announcements, okay? Make sure you throw a jab at that like button, all right? And also, if you like the content, you can always subscribe, okay? Subscribe, and don't forget to like, okay? Press that like button. Okay, just throw a nice jab at it. Okay, stay right here. We're going to go ahead and talk about the topic here. Lomachenko, number 1 pound for pound. And it seems to me like there's a lot of debate going on, okay, on who is number 1 pound for pound and who do you have on your list and who this and who that and this sucks and he doesn't suck and he hasn't proven shit and this guy hasn't done shit and what about this guy? And there's a lot of that going on, which is fine. That's what boxing fans do. All right. But let's talk about it. Okay, so let's really have a real discussion on who is number 1 pound for pound. Okay, but before we get to that, I need to address, okay, people from England. Like I need to address you guys. All right, we have 2 fighters, okay, from England. All right, 2 of them who bent the knee in 2 separate fights. Why are you guys bending the knee, bro? You're over here bending the knee, and I mean, well, what's going on? Why are you bending the knee? Look at this dude bending the. Look at this guy. Yeah, he got back up and kept fighting, but he bent the knee at the end of the day. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think voluntarily going down should be 2 points off, not one. That's always been my opinion. Okay, I've always felt that if you voluntarily take a knee, or because I'm about to win the fight, but he's gonna knock me out. Let me take a knee, right? I think you should lose 2 points, because if you voluntarily take a knee or something like that, you should have two. It should be a 10-7 round because you voluntarily took that knee, right? Like if you bend the knee, I know it's a thing over there. They bend the knee to the queen. Okay, they bend the knee to the king. They bend the knee to their lords and all that. It's history and lore of the UK and all that. I get it. Okay, but you don't have to bend the knee in the middle of a prize fight. All right, you don't have to do that. All right. In fact, if one dude didn't bend the knee, we wouldn't have the controversy that we had, and Martinez would have taken a championship back home in Mexico. All right, I'm just saying. That's right, bend the knee. Yeah, they bend those knees, bro. Like, what's going on, bro? Look at this dude. He even bowed his head to Lomachenko. He like bowed his head. Like, what's going on over here? We got people saying this dude won. He bent the knee and bowed his head. Look at him bow his head. Look at him think about it. He's thinking about it. Like, should I get up? You want to get up and keep taking his ass beating right now? That got my scorecard right here, right? And nobody could tell me shit. I do my own commentary. I don't need to listen to Timothy Bradley or anybody else like that, right? You guys keep complaining about commentating. Stop listening to the commentators. Even when I don't call fights, I don't listen to what they're saying. I'm watching the fight. I like the voice of a commentator, so I know they're there, right? But that's not here nor there, okay? Let me address a couple of things to you guys, all right? Now, let's get this bending the knee dude who bowed his head to Lomachenko in the middle of the damn fight out of here, okay? That was in the, let's check it out. What round was that? 11th round? Okay, it was in the middle of the 11th round. Fine. Okay. I want to talk about the fight first before we move on, all right? I got to be honest with you. I gave Campbell 3 rounds. That's what I gave him. Okay. I gave Luke Campbell 3 rounds, and he was competitive in many of the middle rounds, but he didn't win those rounds. Okay. Now, if you want to say no, you're wrong. Luke Campbell won, and you're like, okay, fine. You could say whatever you want. Okay, but at the end of the day, there's 3 judges. All 3 of them had Loma winning, and that's it. All right. If we keep doing this, guy, if we keep doing this whole thing of, well, in my opinion, so and so on, so that's the way I see it. If we're going to keep doing that, then it's going to be a never-ending cycle. So when a fighter you like, okay, is in a very close contest against an underdog, people are going to come out of the woodworks and start saying that he lost in retaliation. And it becomes a never-ending cycle, right? So you need channels like DStyleBoxing, okay, to call order here. Right? And there's no need to bend the knee like Luke Campbell. All right? You don't have to come in and like, Lord the D-style and bow your head like Luke Campbell. No, you don't have to do that. You just have to listen to me. All right? Okay. First of all, okay, Luke Campbell he's not a bum. Can we stop the narrative that dude's a bum? Okay. Now, granted, like, this is me, but to me, all right, this is bum right here. Like anybody from here to here is a bum. Okay, this is like an average fighter. You guys call dudes that are like over here bums. Okay, you call dudes that are here and here bums. Okay, so we got to clarify the whole bum thing. Okay, just calling a fighter a bum is lazy. I'm sorry, it's just a lazy thing to say. All right. I need to there's certain channel that I've been watching for a while, okay, I understand what they mean when they say bum because I've been watching them for a while, right? But some of you just throw the word around, and I honestly don't know what you mean. So when you say Campbell's a bum, like, do you mean he's a terrible fighter? Do you mean, like, when people, I have heard people say he's average? There's 1,700 fighters in that division. You're telling me Luke Campbell's ranked like 700th in the world? Like, you guys, you can't be serious right now. We have to be very specific what you mean, right? Or do you mean he's average compared to a top 5 fighter, top 10 fighter? Are you trying, like, we need more clarification around here. I do declare. Bow your head and bend your knee. This would bend his knee and bow his head. That should be 3 points taken off. 1 for taking a knee, one for the knockdown, one for bending the knee, and a third one for bowing his head. Look at this shit. It's insane. 2 UK fighters did that, by the way, in the same card. Now, you might think it's like okay to do that, but dude, like this is boxing. This was boxeo, right? Dude was thinking about it. Like, should I get up? All right, let me get up. Okay, so credit him. He got back up. The 10-8 round should have been 10-7, in my opinion. Okay? If you, like, this has to be passed along, man. If you voluntarily take a knee, it should be 2 points off, in my opinion. Because 1, you're stopping the fight voluntarily. 2, it's a knockdown. I'm just saying. Okay? But anyway, we need some clarification. Right? Now, again, it depends who we're talking to, right? Luke Campbell is a solid fighter. Now, he's not the great fighter some people were making him out to be, but he's solid. He's really good. He can give a competitive fight to a lot of fighters, but he did not win this fight. Like 1, he didn't. That's a fact. He didn't win it. Okay, but 2, in my opinion, let's talk about the opinion factor of it. He did not win this fight. I gave him 3 rounds. You could maybe, if you're very generous, give the guy 5 rounds. Okay. But even like I'm seeing it all over anyway. Like everyone knows he won. All right. Stop trying too hard. Okay. Stop trying too hard. Okay. It's enough's enough. Lomachenko won this fight, guys. Now that I said that, because I have to say that, right? Because what I'm gonna say. Because right now, Lomachenko fans, they're like this. Yeah. Oh, this guy knows his boxing. Yeah. Lomachenko won. Yeah. But I do know, however, that was not the number 1 pound for pound fight in the world. I do know that. Okay. I do know this, that of a fighter of the quality, who I think is a solid fighter, by the way. I just made that clear. If a fighter of the quality of Luke Campbell, and I've already clarified, by the way, because nowadays you got to clarify everything with people. Okay. I just said he's not a bum. I just said he's a very solid fighter. This dude's easily a top 10 fighter in his division. You could make an argument for top 5. Okay. He's a solid fighter. That's I'm again saying that because then people put words in your mouth and claim you said things you never said. However, now that I've given you that caveat, let's go back to, okay, now we took that snapshot. Let's go back to what I was saying. Okay, here I am. Let me tell you something. If a fighter of the quality of Luke Campbell fought, let me tell you something. Terrence Crawford, bro. Terrence Crawford would have embarrassed. He would have embarrassed a fighter of that quality, which is a good quality, but he would have embarrassed that dude. It wouldn't even have been close. It would have been competitive. Me saying you could give him 3-4 rounds would have been laughable. Laughable. Okay? Crawford would have beat that ass, and he would have beat it so clear, nobody could have come to YouTube and pretend he lost. That's how clear it would have been. All right? Now, when you beat somebody so bad, nobody could come on here and pretend, okay, that the other guy won when they really didn't. When you beat a guy that bad, that's pound for pound. Okay? You want to show people it's not about, look, let me tell you something, man. Crawford wouldn't have proved he's better than Luke Campbell. Oh, I'm better than him. I beat him in a fight. No. He would have proved he's in another stratosphere to Luke Campbell. Okay, he would have proven he's just at a whole nother stratosphere. That's what Crawford would have done. Let me take it a step further. Okay, a Canelo, all right, a Canelo himself, I honestly believe, would have stopped the fighter of the quality of Luke Campbell, right? He would have stopped him. He might, in Canelo's case, it might take him a round or two, you know, but, and Campbell's a good boxer, don't get me wrong. Again, I just told you guys, I think he's solid quality, all right? But I think Canelo would have, this by like round 4 or 5, it would have been a dismantling. He would have destroyed that long torso. He would have destroyed the body. And we're talking if he fought a fighter of that same quality, all right? And look, he has beaten some UK fighters. I don't think any of them are quite as good as Luke Campbell, Canelo, but he beat him decisively enough that makes you think he might have just taken him a couple more rounds, but he would have taken him out. All right? So that's what I'll say about that. All right? So it's, I want to make sure that people understand that you don't have to, like, just by definition, you don't have to call Lomachenko a bum and say he's overrated. And we're going to get to the term overrated in a little bit, by the way. We're going to get to that term because people don't use that term right. I'm sorry. People do not use that term right. So we're going to get another boxing lesson right now. Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down on your desk. All right? Sit down. Take a seat. Okay? Pen and paper. All right? Get ready to write. Do you have your... okay? You have this ready? You have your Sharpie ready? Notepad? Clipboard? Yeah. You're good? All right. I recommend Sharpie. Big letters. You can read them. Yeah. Okay? Let's get to the term overrated. Oh, that guy's overrated. Like, people just throw that word out there. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to say this right now, and I don't want Lomachenko fans, by the way, to get mad. Look, they're already leaving this shit. It's okay. So don't get mad, but I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Okay? I'm going to say this, and then we're going to go over it. Okay? Lomachenko is overrated. Okay? No, what do you mean? How many? Lomachenko, I'll say it again, is overrated. Okay? Now, let me explain. Now, granted, there's a lot of idiots out there that when you say that, they think you're saying, they hear, right? They hear, DStyle just said Lomachenko sucks. Does he not know that he's a 2-time gold medalist? Doesn't he know that he's like, chill? Okay? Like, calm down. You know who's the first channel on YouTube that ever talked about Lomachenko? Right here. Okay? I talked about that dude in his first Olympics, bro, on my channel. All right? Do you want to know, like how many channels were covering Lomachenko in his second Olympics? I don't know if anybody else was, but yeah. Okay? So let's not, like chill. All right? I got the videos to prove it, too. They're on the vault, but you know, just saying. Look, he's overrated. I know that triggers some people, and they're like, well, what? Like, he's overrated, guys. All right? Now, not overrated by everyone, but he's overrated by the boxing press, the mainstream boxing press. He's overrated by many of his fanatics. He's overrated by many boxing channels on here. Okay? Like, it's clear to see. So how is he over? Let's first go over what overrated means. All right? You and I are looking at the same fighter. How you and I can both agree that he's just as good as what he is. I think Lomachenko is a phenomenal fighter. Okay? I think Lomachenko is a really good boxer. He fights really good on the outside. He's really good, at pivoting. He's really good at fighting on the inside. A really good body puncher. All around good fighter. Okay? Really good. And he has the potential to get even better. All right? So he has accomplished a lot in a short period of time. He has. All right? He is a two-time gold medalist. He did win a world title in just his third fight. He did, in short, whatever amount, what is it, 12, 14, whatever it is, win three titles in three different weight classes. All those, I'm not denying all those things on the surface. But, see, here on DStyleBoxing, we don't just stare at the numbers. On this channel, all right? On this channel, we look into the numbers. And there's a difference, right? Number one, the whole he won as many world titles in... Let me give you some irony really quick, okay? Clarissa Shields, all right? Clarissa Shields came out, all right? And she's like, I'm going to do it in 10 fights or whatever she said. Well, what did she say? Let me pull it up really quick. All right. I want to pull up what Clarissa Shields said. Hold on. All right. Clarissa Shields. Come on now. I got people waiting here. Yeah, I'll just paraphrase. But she said that she's going to break Lomachenko's record and become the 3-division champion faster than any other boxer in history. And she said, I want to join these great legends. That's what she said, right? Doesn't harm anybody. It's just what she's saying, right? Immediately, people got on her. Oh, but there's no depth in women's boxing. What are you talking about? There's only 20 women in your division. How dare you even say that? You know what I mean? Like, all of us, they attacked her. Like, all of a sudden, they know about the depth in the divisions. All of a sudden, they know about the quality of opposition. All of a sudden, they understand all those things all of a sudden, right? How do you think, you guys are the same guys, right? I went to the Twitter handles and I checked, okay? Oh, Lomachenko did something no boxer's ever done. You know what I mean? And again, put no perspective behind it. None, right? Okay, these same dudes are the same dudes giving all these accolades to Lomachenko for being the fastest guy to reach, win three divisions and all that, all that shit. But where'd the caveat go? What? Caveat! Where you at? What? Perspective! Where are you? Hey, perspective! You there? Hey, perspective ain't here. But let's go ahead and put it in perspective, because here on DStyleBoxing, we have perspective, all right? So all of you understand about all that, right? It's the same. Look, let me tell you something, right? Lomachenko's fighting in an era, right, where it's easier to win world title. That's just a fact, all right? It's easier to win a world title now than it was 20 years ago, much less 40 years ago, all right? It's easier to do it now. But you don't want to put any perspective on that, right? Oh, but that shows me he's better than Ali. What? What are you guys talking about? Are you serious? Are you serious now? Right? So we got to look into the numbers. The numbers matter, but we got to look into them. Oh, he's only had so many fights. Okay, I get it. But this is going to be a norm, guys. You guys know that, right? Like fighters are fighting for world titles in less fights now, pretty much for the most part, okay, than they ever have. So that in general is the truth, right? Just saying, okay. But let's get the accolades and let's just put them aside for a moment, all right? Let's just put them aside for a second. Let's just put that aside. Are you telling me, let me tell you what overrated means, okay? I'm going to make this bar right here for you, okay? I'm going to make this bar right now. Okay, there it is. We're gonna draw for the kids today. Okay, that's the bar. All right. I'm gonna put right here in the middle. It's like the middle is like average. It's just for. And then we're gonna put Ali over here. Terrible over here. Okay, not a terrible Morales. I mean literally a terrible fighter. Okay. All right. Just for example, you can say, all right. Like I could say, I put Lomachenko's like right here, kind of, he's like right there right now. I think he's pretty good. I give him a lot of credit. I mean, this is like amazing territory right here. To be right here is like amazing, right? To me, that's like a great praise. You know what I mean? And that's where I have Lomachenko right now. All right. I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm not saying he's average. I'm saying he's between average and Ali, but like this section is a section that very few fighters get to. I'm just using an example. Okay. If people like Bob Arum and other people are saying he's better than Ali, all right, you have him like over here, then yeah, that's overrated. You're overrating the guy. Like he's great, and when I say overrated, I have him like right here. How, for the sake of argument, I could have him right here. I could have Lomachenko right here, which is like amazing. You know what I mean? And it would overrated would still apply. Like it would still apply because this is like the greatest ever. We don't even have to say Ali. Let's just say whatever you think the greatest ever is. Like greatest ever is here. I put Lomachenko like right here in boxing history. Yes, he's over. If you have him here, yes, you're overrating him. Okay? If you're calling Lomachenko the greatest of all time, yes, you're overrating him. That's what you're doing. You're overrating the guy. That's the definition of overrated. When I say, nah, he's here, not here, right? Oh, you're hating. You're saying he's average. You're saying he's terrible. No, I didn't say this. I said he's here, not here. All right? Overrated does not mean you're saying the guy sucks, right? It means you're overrating the guy, right? That's what that means. That's what that means. He's overrated. Point blank, period. Right? He's a great fighter. He is. Just let it be, and stop trying to force an agenda that he's the greatest ever and that he's the best. I'm seeing people saying he could beat Duran. You think he could beat Roberto Duran? Are you out of your mind? Some of those hooks Campbell landed on him, if that was Roberto Duran, good night. Campbell bend the knee for Roberto Duran. Campbell would have bent that knee in the second round with Duran. Then he would have been laid on his back. That's just the truth. All right? That's just the reality. By the way, you UK fighters, stop bending knees, bro. All right? Stop bending the knee. I mean, God, we got Joshua bending the knee to Andy Ruiz. We got Campbell bending the knee. Like, what's going on over here? Stop bending the knee. All right. So yes, and even though I explained to you guys what I mean when I say he's overrated, I already know there's going to be some idiots saying that I'm hating on Lomachenko and that I said Lomachenko sucked and that he's not that good and all that. All I said is that he couldn't beat Roberto fucking Duran. That's all I said. Okay? He wouldn't beat a Sweet Pea at 135. He wouldn't beat a Chavez. Okay? It wouldn't happen. And you're not insulting the guy by saying that. All right? Like, that's not what you're doing. And I know that I know that there's a lot of it happens every like 3-4 years. There's always a shift. Okay? I've been here long enough to know this. All right? Some dude's gonna come out. They always come out, okay? Man, look, I've been watching boxing all my life, too. I've been watching all my life since the 70s, bro. I've been watching boxing since the 80s, bro. And let me tell you right now, these old boxing fans don't want to admit it, bro, but Lomachenko's the greatest of all time, bro. Bro! Lomachenko's the best of all time, bro. I know, because I've been watching boxing my whole life, too. I love all those guys. I love Ali. I love Chavez. I love Duran. But Duran, bro, Duran he couldn't keep up with the advanced boxing that Lomachenko has, bro. That's what they're gonna say. Okay, and you know what? It sounds stupid, but it gets him a following. Because there's a lot of young fans that just are too lazy and don't want to do their research and, actually do actual film study and like actually look at these fighters and understand what they're watching and do the eye test. You know what I mean? There's just something cognitive there that doesn't allow them to do that. So they'd rather take the easy route. Okay. And they'll rather give their attention to someone who's telling them what they want to hear. If you come to DStyleBoxing so I can tell you what you want to hear, you're on the wrong channel. Okay? Like, this is not what I do. It's just, and anybody will tell you that there is no, like, controlling DStyleBoxing and what he's going to say. I'm going to say what I want to say. And that's it. Right? Because consistency, to me, right, matters more to me than anything. All right? It's more important than that short-term gain of a large following, and it's more important than that, right? So, like, I get it, right? But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you how it is. From my perspective, of course. From my perspective. But I'm going to tell you how it is, like, what's in here. Well, what I'm thinking. Because one thing I have is a passion for boxing, and I'm not going to sell out by telling everybody that Lomachenko could beat anybody, and he could beat Duran, and it's insane. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. So yes, you have maybe not to that extent, like maybe they're not overrating him like that, but a lot of boxing media is overrating him. They are. It's just the truth. Like it's just an observation. Great fighter. I'm a fan of him. He's a great fighter. But stop selling me this whole, he's better than this guy, he's better than that guy. Because and then you wonder where all the quote unquote hate for Lomachenko comes from. Like you wonder where, like, well, I don't get it. I mean, all people are doing is saying he's better than Ali and better than, Duran and lightweight. I mean, what's all the hate about? Like, I don't get it. What do you mean you don't get it? First of all, most of it is in hate. But now, I'm going to keep it 100. There are channels that flat out just want to see Lomachenko lose. If you're honest about it, fine. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Hoping a fighter lose is not like a crime. Okay? Like, I always wanted Marco Antonio Barrera to lose. I like, you know what I mean? It didn't, was I being objective? No, I wanted him to get knocked the fuck out. Okay? Yes, there's people that don't. There's nothing wrong with wanting Lomachenko to lose or any fighter to lose. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, but there are channels that are pretending like they don't, but it's obvious that they do. You know what I mean? That's their prerogative. Okay, and they just flat out don't want to give Lomachenko any credit. Okay, and I do believe it's a reaction to the overpraise that Lomachenko gets. Okay. Overpraising somebody and giving someone accolades that they have not earned yet, okay, it does have, okay, an opposite reaction, okay, on another side, right? It's going to have a negative effect somewhere else. So it makes it harder to have actual dialogue about this fighter and objectivity, because all of a sudden, no one wants to give any credit whatsoever because they feel he's getting enough credit. You know what I mean? And then one side doesn't want to criticize that fighter whatsoever because they don't want to be perceived as hating, right? Some people can't understand the nuances behind that, and that's fine, okay? But let me tell you where there's no nuance in. Bending the knee. This dude bent the knee, bro. And UK fighters bending the knee, bro. God bless the Queen. Look at this, bro. We bowed his head. And yes, Crawford is number. Let me give you guys an example, okay? Crawford is the number one pound for pound boxer in the world, in my opinion. Okay? To me, he is. All right? Crawford is the best. Right? It didn't the Khan bend the knee? Did he? Against Crawford? I don't know. He bent his dignity, but I don't know if he bent the knee. But anyway, so speaking of Crawford, look, everyone knows I'm a big Crawford fan, right? Right? Now, if someone came out, all right, and they say, all right, and they're like, hey, you want, bro, honest to God, bro, Crawford is the best fighter ever. He's better than anybody, and I don't care who. He's better than all of them. What do you mean he's better than everybody? Like, you mean now or like now, of all time? I would tell them you're overrating Crawford if they were to say that. Okay? So, like I'm just saying. All right? So it's people just need to stop confusing overrated with he sucks. Okay? When people say someone's overrated, it doesn't mean that they're saying he sucks. Right? They're saying this is how I feel about this fighter. I have him up here, which is high. But you motherfuckers got him like way up here. That's what we mean by that. Campbell was being knighted. Look at this. Bent the knee, bro. Got people over here talking about how he wanted to do. Bent the knee. Right? AJ's going to bend that knee, man, in Saudi Arabia, bro. AJ. Let me find a picture of AJ, bro. Let me find a picture of AJ bending the knee, bro. All right? Let me... Well. Let me see here. Man, AJ's been bending, dude. I can't find a picture. Man, hey, Google's being funny with me, bro. Look at this. I found it. AJ's not doing it right, though. What are you doing, AJ? Look at this guy. AJ bent. Look at him bend the knee, bro. Come on, AJ. Oh, yeah. Turn around, AJ. I now declare you the king, knighted here, that is, in Saudi Arabia. Man, that guy. All right. Bending the knee, bro, it's a UK thing. I'm telling you. These fighters are taking the knee way too many times, bro. I'm going to hand out a which nation took the knee more times award at the end of the year. Swear to God. Okay? I'm just saying. Right? By the way, Charlie Edwards, let me look at a picture of him, though. Charlie Edwards. All right? That dude, I'm trying to look for a picture when he bends the knee. Look at this. Dude bent the knee hard, bro. Look at this, bro. I'm showing you guys visual evidence of them constantly bending the knee. All right? That's what I'm saying is overrated if you bring it in context. Now, I'm not saying that everyone who says Lomachenko is overrated means it by that context, by the way. There are guys that just flat out don't like Lomachenko and say he's overrated, right? But they don't make clear where you rate him. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm just saying. All right? Look at him bend that knee. These dudes like proudly bending the knee and shit. Like what's all right? Look at him proudly bend that knee, bro. I will bend the knee. Oh, man. And let me tell you, man, one of the reasons that I'll always, one of the reasons, man, that I'll always, respect guys like, you know, let me give you a good example, man. Okay. The man of this shit. Okay. Blood boxing. Right. Well, one of the reasons that I will always respect blood is because blood is from an era where you could have blew up big if you sold out. Okay. Nowadays it's harder. You know what I mean? Like now selling, a lot of dudes try to sell out now and it doesn't really work out for them. But blood boxing was in a position where he could have, if he wanted to, right? If Blood wanted to, he could have come out and been like, hey, I'm Blood Boxing. You guys know me. I'm a hardcore fan. But I'm telling you right now, Manny Pacquiao is the greatest of all time. He's the best I've ever seen. He could have done that. And I know what that time was like. And I know his videos would have been on Packland.com. His videos would have been on every Manny Pacquiao website imaginable, forum. Okay. His traffic would have been off the chain. Okay. Blood Boxing would have over 200 subscribers easy if he would have sold out then. All right. He could have done, if he wanted to, he could have done that. Like, I'm just telling you guys, he could have done that if he wanted to. Right? He chose not to. He chose because, why? Because he loves the sport. Right? And it was about boxing to him. It wasn't about him. Okay? Like, and his integrity mattered more to him than any amount of subscribers. Right? So he could have done that if he wanted to. Right? Now, granted, not everyone that reaches a lot of numbers sells out. There's a lot of great channels that didn't, and I'm subscribed to them. And you'll see me on their, chats and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But there's some dudes on here that, quite frankly, there's some channels, honestly, that for years I had a lot of respect for. And then I have no idea what happened to them. I just don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just, when this AJ Wilder thing started, I don't know what happened. I just don't. Right? They felt like there was a big opportunity, and that's that. Right? I'm just saying. Anybody have any other picture of dudes taking knees and shit? Look at this shit, bro. Unbelievable. Bend the knee, Campbell. But Basket had, yeah, absolutely. He could have easily done that. AJ took a knee the other way because he's facing Mecca, because he's a Muslim. Oh my God, bro. Don't they have to go on two knees? I don't know. I'm not even going to touch that. AJ will come to the ring riding a camel. That's interesting. Look, all right? Just to kind of give you an idea, okay? Like, this sucks. This is average, right? And this is like all the good fighters, and they get better. This is the best, okay? I can have Loma. This is current fighters. I can have Loma like right here, okay? I could have, and I have him around right there, like right here, okay? But to me, Crawford's the best, right? Crawford's right here. If you tell me he's better than Crawford, he's a better fighter than Crawford, then I'm going to tell you you're overrating him. Doesn't mean I'm saying he sucks. Doesn't mean I'm saying he's average. Doesn't mean I have him like over here somewhere. It just means I have him here and you got him here. I don't think he's here. I think he's here. That's it. The Loma, the hate isn't as deep as you guys think it is. All right? Yeah, the fanboyism for a lot of UK channels, it went overboard, bro. It just did. Objectivity was like, you know what I mean? They went a little too far. All right. But let's talk about Lomachenko here. Enough of these dudes bend the knee and shit. Okay. I was looking for Joshua bending the knee. They gave me some other dudes. Look at this dude bending the knee over here. And let's talk about Lomachenko, man. What's next for Lomachenko? I want him to fight the winner of Comey versus Teofimo Lopez, and I don't want to hear any he's not ready and oh, they're not ready. Like, hey, it's that time. Let's unify all the belts. Okay, become unified champion, and I want to see that personally. But I wouldn't mind the tank fight. You know what I mean? If they want to set up the tank fight now, let's do it. Let's set up Tank versus Lomachenko. That's a tough fight for me, man. To me, it's a tough fight to call. It's not as, I don't think it's the foregone conclusion. A lot of people think it is. Right? But Car King, I agree 100%. Tank, yes, he's going up to lightweight, and that's what we're talking about him. Absolutely, Boxing Spectrum. Boxing Spectrum, I saw a comment of yours on one of my posts, and I don't know what happened. It's not there anymore. I don't know if I accidentally deleted it. If I did, I apologize. But I think I might have clicked on it twice, too many times, or something like that. I'm not sure. But, right. With that said, I want to see Tank against the winner of Comey versus Teofimo Lopez. It's a fight they can make. It's not a fight that they can't make. You know what I mean? But we got Haney, we got Tank. This division, bro, is loaded, bro. Okay? What's up, Boxing UK? This division is loaded. All right? This is a loaded-ass division. All right? By the way, I want to see, what's his name? Takani? What was the name of that Japanese dude that fought Teofimo Lopez? Because somebody posted, I forgot the name, but I want to see that guy against Luke Campbell. I just want to see that fight. Two tall lightweights, both utilize the jab, just to kind of see. You know, I just want to see. I think Campbell wins that fight, but just to check it out, I want to see that fight. I want to see that Japanese cat against Japan versus UK. Let's do it. Okay. I don't remember the name. Was it Takani? I'd be confusing a lot of Japanese names. I apologize, but Nakatani. Thank you, Darnell Kirkland. Nakatani versus Luke Campbell. Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Do it for the silver title or some shit. I don't know. But I think Nakatani showed a lot against that Teofimo fight. I think he earned. I think he deserves another crack against one of these top dudes and to put him in there with Luke Campbell, bro. Right? Masayoshi Nakatani, he's a trainer, dude. He's the dude that trained Goku, bro. Is that his name? Master Yoshi? No? Master Yoshi's he's still boxing, bro, at fucking age of 90. Gamboa versus Campbell. Oh, man. Thinking. I think Campbell wins, but I think it's a close fight. I would favor Campbell in that fight. I think Gamboa will have trouble with that jab. Gamboa's going to look good in the first 2-3 rounds. He'll be beating up on Campbell, but I think Campbell will take control a little bit with his jab and counter him a little bit. By round 9 or so, it'll be all Campbell, but I got Campbell in that fight. Shoot me more questions. We're open, by the way. This is not an official show, so you guys throw questions out. Damn, hell, a Japanese boxer now. Yeah, man. Nakatani, Master Yoshi versus Luke Campbell. Luke Skywalker Campbell, let's do it. It's like Dragon Ball versus freaking Star Wars, bro. All right? Let me link, absolutely. Let me get say listen. But I want to see Nakatani versus Luke Campbell. Campbell versus Tank. Look, sometimes styles make fights, bro. I think Campbell's all wrong for Tank. Kind of like Pedraza, you know what I mean? I think it's a good fight up until it's not. I think he stops Luke Campbell. Little too tall, center of gravity not all there. He's going to buckle, bro. He'll go down. But hey, they could do the fight. The link's right there. Said as you click on it. I don't think Campbell deals with pressure that good. Nah, if anything, it's when Lomachenko put pressure that kind of made Luke Campbell uncomfortable. When they were at range, that's when Luke did really good. Okay, Luke Skywalker Campbell. That's the way we see Tank and do against Campbell. Yeah. But personally, I don't know. I want to see Tank Loma. They could do that fight ASAP, but we'll see. What's going on, Say Less?
What's good, brother? I just came in. What you been talking about?
First of all, I was talking about Lomachenko. I was talking to people about the difference between, like, you'll understand this right away because you already know, but the difference between saying somebody sucks and saying somebody's overrated. Right. So I said, if we go by what the boxing press and a lot of Lomachenko fanatics are saying, he is overrated. Right. I'm not saying he sucks, but I think a lot of people overrate Lomachenko. What are your thoughts on that?
100%. And this is somebody that's literally admitting that Lomachenko is better than what I thought he was. So this is I'm gonna try to wrap people's mind around this. Lomachenko is better than what I thought he was, and yet somehow is still overrated. I dropped a video the other day just stating that I believe Lomachenko's elite. I think he's one of the best fighters of our generation. But there was literally a point in the broadcast where they were zooming in on his feet to illustrate how great his footwork is. And they have separated him. They're saying he's so far above guys like Crawford. When Ward was active, they were telling a guy like Andre Ward, Super 6, beating Kovalev, that he needs to catch up to Lomachenko, who I think at that time his best win was like Gary Russell. There are some that said that he's better than Muhammad Ali. So because of that, and especially after like a Luke Campbell type fight, and if you really break down Lomachenko's fights and who he's beaten, he's great. But to say that he's like leagues above guys like Crawford, guys like Spence, guys like, even Usyk, for example, who became undisputed, I think it's fabricated. And then people tell me all the time, right, about how Wilder sucks, he doesn't have any skills, X, Y, and Z. A guy who started boxing at 19 and habitually, religiously fights guys that are 30, 40, 50 pounds bigger than him. And people say, well, hey, even though he's knocking him out, he's not doing it well enough to their standard. But you're trying to tell me Lomachenko looked average against Luke Campbell because Luke Campbell has height and reach. And Lomachenko, even though he has 3 belts at 135, is small for. I'm not trying. It's just with Lomachenko, there's all these excuses that other fighters aren't given. And because of that, the fact that you have to make excuses for what was, to me, it was a solid performance. It wasn't bad, but Luke Campbell showed, like Salido did. I don't know why people delete the Salido moment, that Lomachenko's beatable. Right. He is. Gary Russell showed it as well. That was a close fight, but people, they put him on such a level where as if he's so far above the competition, and he isn't. Gervonta would give him a tough fight. Yes. Richard Comey, he's gonna give him a tough fight. Linares, I don't know if people forgot this, gave Lomachenko a tough fight.
Knocked him down.
Yeah, and to me, I thought Linares was winning that fight. I don't want
people thought I was crazy when I said don't sleep on Linares. He has a shot.
I remember that.
Yeah, I
remember that.
But I'm the one that's underrating him, apparently, according to 92 AKU. He's underrated. Like, bro, they're calling him the best in the sport, bar none. Like, how is that underrated? Like, what? There's no more room to underrate.
We gotta look at it. We gotta look at it and let's say, okay, stylistically speaking, if he was the same size as, let's say, let's start off with Deontay Wilder, everyone's favorite. I believe he will beat a Deontay Wilder. All things being equal, he will beat a Deontay Wilder. Let's go same size. A guy like let's go same size, and let's say a guy like Errol Spence. I'm not so sure.
Here's my thing.
I think that could be a stylistic nightmare for him.
Well,
same size. Let's go a guy like Canelo, for example. I don't think that's that easy of a fight for him. Let's go same size, a guy like Crawford.
Yeah,
I think Crawford stops.
here's my thing, right? You're talking about Lomachenko. You first said Wilder, right? You there, bro?
Hold on. Man, the sound's all messed up now. What the heck?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I could hear you.
Hold on, DStyle. Let me try to fix this sound thing right here.
It's cool. It's just something I want to touch on with the size thing that I think people need to kind of look at a little bit. All right. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's pretty.
Okay.
I don't know what the heck, man. I had a call coming in and just messed up everything.
It's all good. It's all good. I mean, we were still you sounded low, but we were still able to hear you.
Let me leave and come back in. That was weird. Let me leave and come back in.
All right, no problem. Yeah, I heard him too, but I guess he couldn't hear himself, so I'm not sure what happened. All right, let's see here. These days, if you say solid win, he's hating. Oh man, you're hating. Yeah, I know. All right, he's back. What's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay, cool. I had to make sure.
Just one thing about the pound for pound thing, I want to kind of let everybody know right now, right? In my opinion, pound for pound is very biased towards fighters in the middle, like welterweights, middleweights, junior welterweights. You know what I mean?
Factually, yeah.
And I think I think it's not, people don't do it on purpose, but I think the reason for that is because those divisions have a balance of power and speed. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, heavyweights are here, flyweights are here in terms of, you know, power. You know what I mean? In terms of speed, it's like this generally. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's exceptions, of course, but if Lomachenko, all right, he's down here, Wilder's here, right?
Right.
If they were to meet in the middle, let's say in some weird Dragon Ball-ish world, right, or something, Lomachenko would lose speed. He wouldn't be as fast. He wouldn't be as flashy because he would be heavier, right?
Right.
Maybe Wilder doesn't hit as hard, but he would get faster because he wouldn't be as big. So, you know, that's where I think it's kind of the whole pound for pound thing is a little, I don't know. That's one of the reasons I hardly make comparisons like that when it's two separate weight classes. You know what I mean? But I get your point. I think you're just trying to say you rate them higher pound for pound.
Yeah. I think we could look at it and say that objectively, Lomachenko's more skilled than, I don't know, maybe 90% of boxers out there.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think it's disingenuous to make it seem as if he is leagues ahead of guys like even a Tyson Fury.
He wasn't even leagues ahead of Campbell.
Another example, and in it, I know people try to make excuses that Campbell was a gold medalist and he had height and reach. We watched Floyd fight for a decade. Fight guys that are bigger, taller, way more, and nobody cared about guys being, you know, having a height, reach, weight advantage against them. So the fact that we have to use that for Lomachenko to explain certain things, I'm simply really not trying to hear it, man. Lomachenko is great, but to get specifically into Gervonta Davis matchup, if Gervonta is actually in the gym, if he's consistently fighting, he has a potential to stop Lomachenko. I'm picking Lomachenko. I'm actually picking Lomachenko to stop Gervonta Davis. But for those who think that's going to be a fight that's a walk in the park for Lomachenko, I think they're mistaken.
And, I mean, I'm 60-40. You know what I mean? Like, I think Loma's going to win, but I think Tank has an excellent chance of winning.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. I would probably – the thing is that with Lomachenko, and I try to state this to a lot of people. Hold on. Oh, goddamn. Yeah. I try to say this to a lot of people is that his style sets him up for being vulnerable. You can't really be that aggressive and not be able to be hit. When you're that aggressive, just naturally, just the fact that you stay in the pocket that long means you can be countered. Right. Linares, Campbell, even Gary Russell in certain moments in certain moments showed that like the way Lomachenko fights, it could be taken advantage of. Even if you go back and watch Lomachenko fight this one Japanese dude, as great as Lomachenko's footwork is, he's still in front of you. If you just remember the simple thing of going to his body, he's gonna be there. If you pivot while he pivots, you're gonna be able to take advantage of the lot of moments that Lomachenko gives you. So when I look at guys make it seem as if there's no way a guy like Gervonta or Coleman could win, I don't think they're watching the fight. It's the same way when people were surprised that Errol Spence can actually fight on the back foot. You can't listen to the media. The media, the same people that was telling you Roman Gonzalez was one of the best fighters of all time. When anybody that really follows boxing was like, this guy gets hit a lot. I was saying that from the first moment I saw him and people were hyping him up. I'm like, this guy gets hit so easily. So my point with Lomachenko is why he's definitely better than a Roman Gonzalez. He stays in the pocket too long. I think he's too aggressive. And I think an accurate counterpuncher who can go to the body is going to give him problems every single time. And while he's not Kovalev in terms of the body, he's not that far from Kovalev either. The moment you start going down Lomachenko, his whole demeanor changes. And I think you're going to see, much like Triple G, it started off with Martin Murray. Then we saw Raquel Brook. Then Danny Jacobs. And slowly but surely, guys just figuring out and understanding what they have to do to beat a guy like that. I think Lomachenko is heading down that same path.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Trill Boxing Talk, Black Fight Fan TV with $10 super chat. What's going on, man? And shout out to Scrapbook Boxing as well. Saying what's good to my brother DStyle and guest. We got Sayless here. Here's my thing, man. I think I'm favoring Lomachenko in that fight with Tank right now. I mean, that could change in the next few fights. You never know, right? But as of right now, I am favoring him in that fight. But that fight, it's going to be a fight, you know. But we're going to see how that goes, man. I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I also have Haney. How do you think Haney does with Lomachenko?
Ooh, it's interesting, but I think he lacks the experience. I think Lomachenko can outbox him. I think that Lomachenko is probably going to try to stun on him at first, but as the fight wears on, I see Lomachenko realizing that he can't, and it goes the Gary Russell route, where we're going to see Lomachenko, much like the Luke Campbell route, just kind of, let me not say survival, we're going to see Olympic gold medalist, Lomachenko, where he's going to go, he's going to score, he's going to try to get a W, he's going to try to get out of there. That's what I believe in against a guy like Haney. I don't think he has enough experience. Against a guy like Gervonta, it depends. Do we get in shape Gervonta? Because I know, like me, I'm not a fan of Gervonta Davis as a person, but people forget he stopped Pedraza when Pedraza was undefeated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he stopped.
Yeah, Gervonta can fight. Here's the thing: like Gervonta is a very nasty fighter. He's the type of fighter that has a mentality to beat Lomachenko because one, if he has to get dirty, he will. He doesn't care. And two, while if not for the stamina issues, I would probably pick Gervonta. But because of the stamina issues, I'm going to lean towards Lomachenko. But he has the ability to be explosive. And Lomachenko has this thing, right? He's just too aggressive. He throws too many punches. And while he takes advantage of you trying to punch in between that, a guy as fast and as explosive and as accurate as Gervonta, a willing body puncher as well. If you look at I know it's easier said than done because of the way Lomachenko counters you, but a guy as fast as Gervonta, those quick, short shots underneath can give Lomachenko problem because so few guys do it. I don't know I'm not sure what it is about the new age of fighters, but it seems so many of them refuse to be body punchers. And I feel like a guy like Gervonta who's capable, who while the game plan will be very simple, I think he can just have a lot of success against a guy like Lomachenko. But we have to see it.
That's going to be very interesting. What do you think of Lomachenko at some point moving up? I feel like 140 is like he's too small for that. You think he'll ever move up?
He shouldn't. But his fans and the media are probably going to convince him to. But truth be told, he should settle in at 135 and right. If anything, go down between 130 and 135, but he shouldn't go up. A guy like Progress is going to stop Lomachenko.
Too big.
Yeah. The blueprint to beating Lomachenko is there, and he's great. He's already come up from 126. he has to fight the right guy at 140. And the guy like Progress, he's not it. That's just not the guy for it. So I think he's probably gonna stay at 135. He shouldn't go up, man. He's gonna get beat up. The blueprint to beat Lomachenko is out, man. People need to remember he's lost already, man. There is a blueprint on how to beat him.
Yeah. Well, what do you say to people that say, "Hey, that was only his second fight against a guy that didn't make weight, and it was only a second fight against a fighter like Salido"? Well, what is your response to that?
Are we gonna give him credit for all those gold medals or not, man? Does that carry over to his pro career or doesn't it? Because I feel like when people talk about pound for pound, it carries over to his professional career, the gold medals. But whenever we talk about that loss, all of a sudden, he didn't have all this and that. We have to pick and choose, And here's the thing. The moment you start giving him excuses about Salido being 3 pounds over, I need to hear everybody praise Wilder because, again, religiously fighting dudes 30, 40 pounds bigger than him. So if Salido being 3 pounds over or being 10 pounds heavier on fight night, if it's that big of a deal, then I don't want to hear how Wilder struggled with Fury when Fury outweighed him by damn near 50 pounds. So I need people to pick and choose their excuses when it's convenient. I need to see people praise Floyd like they never praised Floyd before because he fought guys bigger than him all the time and nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Yeah. Let me just show everybody a graphic really quick. Right? Tell me you can see this, Elizabeth. This is Salido's career, okay? This is when he started. This was his prime. And this is when he fought Lomachenko. Okay?
Absolutely.
So people need to start back. He fought a guy with a lot of experience, but that was
almost like 9 losses. Yeah, with almost like 9 losses.
With almost 9 losses, and it was not This is not the same Salido that beat up Robert Guerrero all those years ago. This is a guy that was on his way out. It was a guy that Salido's team specifically targeted and handpicked. Okay, for a reason. Problem was they bit off more than they could chew, and you guys have to just admit that. You know what I mean?
It's fine. It's fine. There's no shame into losing a guy like Salido. A loss doesn't define a boxer. I just wish they can carry that mentality over to everyone. To me, the fact that here's what to me proves Lomachenko's not number one pound for pound. The amount of caveats and excuses we make for him to justify his situation or his poor performances that we don't give to guys like Canelo, that we don't give to guys like Crawford, because truth be told, objectively speaking, as much as Canelo has cherry picked, Canelo should be pound for pound if it was based on a merit and what you've done in the ring. If it wasn't just based on this arbitrary rule that we give, Canelo should be pound for pound. With all the cherry picking, with all the Canelo weights, you look at who he's beaten, when he's beaten them. Canelo, like, again, not too long ago, Triple G was supposed to be the quote-unquote guy. Canelo beat that boy. Period. Like, I know people want to make excuses and all that, but he beat him. He fought Danny Jacobs. He's fought in guys like Laura. I mean, you kind of name it, aside from Andre and the Charles brothers, which are big wins, but a lot of these guys haven't fought each other. Canelo has fought more dudes than some of these guys have fought each other. That's a fact. I know a lot of people want to shit on Canelo, but truth be told, a lot of guys who say Canelo should fight, he's fought more of them than they actually fought of each other. So that's just what it is. I know people don't want to hear that, but last time I checked, Charlo hasn't fought in Andre. Charlo hasn't fought on Laura. Charlo hasn't fought in Gennady Golovkin. Canelo has.
Right.
So if you're looking at a merit and he fought Floyd, and if we want to give Lomachenko pass to Salido, I mean, goddamn, we got to give Canelo a pass to freaking Mayweather. I mean, we got to, man. That it would only be right. And you look at it, and I got to give it to Canelo, man.
Absolutely. Look, if these guys are going to take, like, let me tell you something. I don't like it when a fighter gets in a fight where if they win, they get all the accolades. But if they lose, it's not going to matter because, it was only a second pro fighter, or he was too small anyway. I hate that. You know what I mean? Like, it's if you lose, you lose. And that's it. And Lomachenko lost, right? I don't want to ask you say this. What's your opinion on did you watch the Edwards Martinez fight or no?
Martinez, no, I didn't see that fight.
So what happened in this fight is Edwards, as you can see in this image, he bent the knee, and then Martinez proceeded to hit him with a body shot right in the liver, and then but the ref didn't call it. He called it a knockout, and then the WBC overturned it and declared it a no contest. You know, I personally, I'm okay with it because it was a delayed hit. However, what are your thoughts on that? The WBC overturning it after looking at the film?
In a way, I mean, I don't know the whole detail, but I actually like that. I like the fact that they can look at something, and if they viewed it and they reviewed it correctly based on their rules, whatever guidelines, I think it's a good thing to look at a situation. And if you feel like the rest of the people got it wrong, to overturn it. Make it a no contest. They can have rematch. You can right that wrong, you know? So I actually like that they looked at a situation, they reviewed it, but by whatever rules that WBC love making up. But the only thing is, I would say, is if you're gonna start doing that, you have to be consistent. So anytime an issue like this come up, they shouldn't pick and choose when they're gonna review. So if any controversy like this opens up, then they should be willing to do that for everyone.
What do you think about this setting a bad precedent? Like, well, what if, like, even though it was good in this case, but what if, like, after every single controversial decision they overturn it, and I mean, you don't think that there could be some type of bad precedent being set?
I think what they should do for their sake is to leave it at like potential disqualifications or situations where they should say like where it's something that when somebody got hit after the bell, they should definitely put in stipulations on that. You know, it shouldn't, if it's something where it happened after the bell or it's disputable, like somebody was taking a knee and got hit, they should leave it there, in my personal opinion. They should leave it for major controversies, not judging. They should stay straight away from that. Only controversial knockouts, and not if somebody like where the ref stopped it a little too early. Like, no, we're talking about somebody getting hit at a time when they weren't supposed to get hit. They should leave it like that. Should be the only circumstances. Everything else, like somebody getting stopped too early, that's unfortunate, but they shouldn't, because that's gonna take them down a deep rabbit hole that we all don't want to go to.
I agree with that. Now, all these images here, look at this. Bending the knee. What's all these UK fighters bending the knee, bro? What's going on?
Man, this is the only way I'm going to give UK fighters some credit, because Luke Campbell, I thought he was a bum. Why? Because I knew nothing about him. The fact that he went in there, and to me, he didn't do anything that outlandish. He just boxed and went to the body. To the body, jabbed, and came back up top. It wasn't really that. It wasn't that complicated. And when Lomachenko pivot, there's like this crazy thing you could do too. You could pivot as well. You know, like I don't know if other guys know that. I hope they pick up on that from now on, that you can pivot as well along with Lomachenko. But so I'm gonna give UK fighters some credit, because Luke Campbell definitely fought a lot better than I thought. However, one thing that we have to say, man, away from home, I don't know what it is, man. Like UK fighters fighting away from home, it just hasn't been a good look. And I've been hearing a lot of Joshua talking. I'm glad that he's talking and he's being more confident. But we're getting like he's mixing it back in with something.
Though, is it a facade? Like, you think?
Here's where he's messing up. He's doing something that he's done in the past where he's lying to himself. At first, it seemed as if he was being very truthful. He was saying things that have been on his mind for a while. But it seems like he's going right back to incorporating things that are lies that he knows is lies. To say Andy Ruiz got lucky, you don't believe that. That's where I have to get, like, it seemed like AJ was kind of breaking out his shell, but I don't know what happened. He's going right back into it, because Ruiz didn't get lucky. So now he's back to this whole thing of lying about himself, and I think he gets stopped again, man. He's not built to be the guy that he keeps going back and trying to pretend himself to be. Right. He knows what happened with the Wilder situation, and the thing with a guy like AJ, he's too honest of a dude to be the guy that he pretends that he is. AJ is the type of dude that you can look at it. He wants to be honest, man. He tried to be honest with people before it. He tried to tell people, say that, like when he was saying that part of him would like to fight Wilder, but then the devil on his left and the angel on his right. Every time he tried to have his moment of truth, it's like people bash him, and then he goes right back to fake AJ. So I feel like he's still battling to find himself, and I wish that he'll just be realistic, be honest to himself, and look at the Andy Ruiz situation from a rational point of view, because Kovalev did the same thing. You can talk all much about how what he was saying, Ward hits like a girl and all these things that deep down you know isn't true. But remember, you got to fight that monster again. That dude that you're pretending like can't fight, you got to fight him again. I mean that's just the reality of the situation, and we're gonna see in the rematch, much like the Kovalev situation, that the first fight's not gonna be a fluke, man, and we're gonna see it.
One last question I want to ask you. A fight that's been talked about is Kovalev against Canelo. Two-part question. Okay, part number one, do you believe Canelo's actually going to fight him at 175, like an actual 175-pound fight, light heavyweight? Or do you think there'll be a catch weight or some type of, weight hydration clause for that? And second, in any of those two scenarios, how do you see Canelo faring against Kovalev?
Canelo's definitely gonna do a catch weight, which I don't think he needs. But we all know about Canelo weight, and I don't think he should, but he probably will. Or if he has a rehydration clause, I'm okay with that. But he's probably gonna have Kovalev come down a bit because he knows it'll hurt him, and I don't like that. But I think more than likely he will. If he doesn't, I think that'll be a great look for him. How does he fare? I think he beats Kovalev. Kovalev is way too soft to the body, and what I know, Canelo's power is not going to be the same. I mean, Canelo really isn't the most killer punch at 154. But what I've seen against guys like Gennady Golovkin, even when he went up to 168, he's going to have respectable power almost anywhere he goes, right? He's going to have respectable power. I think that Kovalev is just too soft to the body for a guy like Canelo. And Canelo's defense, and because Kovalev gets tired and he gets worn out too, the amount that Canelo's going to go to his body, I actually think Canelo's going to beat him because Kovalev can't just sit on the outside and try to outbox Canelo. You're not beating Canelo on the scorecard. If you stay on the outside, just try to outbox him, it's not going to work. I mean, he's going to have to come forward. He's not going to like the body punches. I can see Canelo stopping Kovalev just because Kovalev, he's about as weak to the body as I've seen. His body's like Amir Khan's chin. That's the best way I can really explain it, man.
Oh, wow. It's like a walking chandelier.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I gotta be honest, man. If it's a catch weight, I got Canelo all day, right? All day. But dude, I gotta be honest, bro. I think at some point, size matters to me, and I don't know if like Canelo, he's got pretty decent defense, but he does get cracked, and he gets cracked clean quite often. Like even like a Liam Smith hit him a couple times, So when he gets clipped upstairs with a flush shot with Kovalev, like how is he gonna take that? Like I question that. I question how he's gonna take that power.
Canelo got a big ass head, man. Like, not trying to be like facetious. No, he has like a really big head. And
would you say Chavez Jr. has a big head?
Yeah, like I don't know if people know.
Fonfara, like, he got stopped.
Well, yeah.
Well, didn't he quit?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Canelo doesn't. He's not like Chavez was just taking punches, but Canelo, like, he avoids a lot of punches, man. So while his defense isn't Floyd Mayweather, he has very good defense. And when I look at the fight, I think, again, I don't think Kovalev. I think Kovalev. It's a combination of Kovalev, prime Kovalev. I got Kovalev all day, but he's slowing down. Canelo's gonna be fast enough to where he's just gonna unload combinations on him, especially to the body, that I just don't see Kovalev being able to pull this out. And if Kovalev is able to crack Canelo, the problem is I don't think it's gonna do that much damage. I don't, because I think Canelo's gonna roll with it. Number one, and number two, I think Kovalev's gonna go in there. It's gonna be a huge stage, and I think he's gonna go in there and try to outbox Canelo, man. I don't, like we're gonna see something similar to Yard, and the best way I can explain this is that I don't think Kovalev is gonna be able to land the type of punches that he's gonna need to on Canelo, and if he does, Canelo's massive head and the fact that he takes one hell of a punch and he rolls with a lot of them, I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay, especially since we know Kovalev's power really comes from the right hand. Now, that jab is a very good jab, but again, man, I just see every single time over and over again, we're going to see left hooks to the body, left uppercuts to the body, right hands to the body. I just don't see Kovalev being able to withstand that. Not for 12 rounds. And still carrying his power.
I mean, we will see. I don't know, man. I think it's just my opinion, but I think it's going to be a little too much for Canelo to chew. You know what I mean? It's because he's going to get hit flush. Like I agree that Canelo has pretty good defense, but he does get hit. Everyone does.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And when you find somebody that big, he's gonna get hit, dude. And I think he's gonna be on his back foot a little too much to be attacking the body. You know, once he feels that power, I think. And then he has those knee braces on. Like, if he has issues with his knees, dude, like, just like if you remember Murray against, or even Chavez Jr. against Martinez. Like Martinez dominated that fight for 11 and a half rounds. Chavez caught him with one flush shot, put him down, and fucked up his knee for the rest of his career. You know, so
Right. That's true. But I just, again, man, Canelo, I think we don't give him enough credit, man. That boy can fight. And even if Kovalev does land clean punches, which at some point he will, I think he can take it, man. Like, again, I think he can take it just because I haven't seen Kovalev stop somebody in a while. So I think Canelo's going to be able to pull it through.
Oh, we will see. You got any final words, bro, before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, no, man. Lomachenko's great, but again, I think he's beatable. I think Canelo is actually underrated, which is kind of crazy. I think he's a lot better fighter than people give him credit for. And yeah, that's really my thoughts, man. I want to see Lomachenko fight Comey next. I think what's that boy name? Teofimo Lopez. I think he loses to Comey, man. I don't think he's gonna beat him. So we'll see how it plays out.
I think Teofimo just wasn't ready for that title shot. But it's on him though. He's the one that was talking a lot of smoke. You know, like he wanted all that smoke, and he was calling out a lot of people out. So I give Teofimo a little bit of shot than most people are, but I think it's gonna be a great fight. But I'm leaning towards Comey for sure. All right. With that said, I think we both agree Joshua loses, right?
Yeah, for sure. I look, man, he's lying to himself, man. I mean, it's gonna be a good fight, but there's certain things fundamentally that I don't think that he'll be able to change.
Well, apparently somebody thinks you haven't seen the Gary Russell Loma fight yet for some reason. But
man, they dude, every fight with Lomachenko, they just gobble this guy's balls up, man.
By the way, that was his third fight, right?
Was it his third or fourth? I don't remember.
But here's my point. So that Gary Russell fight, nothing but credit, right? Praise. Mm-hmm. But it's the fight right before that he lost. Oh no, that one doesn't count. You know what I mean? That one doesn't count. It's just we didn't see that. Okay. Jesus Canelo is considered shorter than Kovalev, with not the best foot speed or footwork. Plus, he gasses up easy. He does take some rounds off in between, right, Canelo?
He does, but again, I still see him going to Kovalev's body, and that's going to affect Kovalev more than I think it will with Canelo's stamina. Plus, I mean, a lot of times we see Canelo being drained because, you know, he's big as hell cutting weight. So at 175, he's not going to cut any weight. So I expect him to be a lot stronger and not fade as quickly.
Oh, but thank you to Afro-Rican for that $4.99 super chat. One more thing. This is not boxing related, but I just when I was talking politics on here, right? Dudes would always come to those videos. I swear they never commented on the boxing ones, but they would come to those videos and they would say, D-Style, I love your boxing content, but I have to unsub, or I'm going to have to unsub, or can you stop talking about politics? And, you know, why is it that I don't see those people around right now? Like they swore that if I just talked boxing and that's it, they would support the channel 100%. Like, where are these people at?
Man, like we know we have some of the fakest people on the planet when it comes to stuff like that. Politics is interesting, but people really prefer when guys stay in their lane, not talk about, especially when they're speaking about things from a rational point of view, because it's easy to get behind things when, you know, you're just kind of talking nonsense and you get stuck in that echo chamber. But the moment when somebody rationally disproves your point, you rather just them stick and stay in their lane, and, you know, you be comfortable without anybody else opposing your views. It's sad, but we live in a world now where, I mean, I don't even like getting to the politics anymore where everyone like both sides have so much BS filled with them, more so on the right, to be just to be honest. But it's unbearable at this point. It's unbearable, and they know it, and they don't like to actually hear somebody rationally break down why they're full of shit.
For those asking, yes, Salas has a channel. That's the name of the channel, actually. So you guys could subscribe to him. What do you think of the shooting, bro? There was another shooting. Odessa, Midland area.
Mm-hmm. Man, you know, I'm down here dealing with the hurricane, so I haven't been following up on any more shootings. But
I forgot that you were in Florida.
Yeah, so about to make some good money. Hopefully, the storm does come, but that's neither here nor there. But when I look at the another mass shooting, I mean, to be honest with you, on one hand, I'm a pro-gun type of guy, you know, Second Amendment and all that good stuff. So I want people to be able to have their weapons, but at some point, I'm not just saying do something for the sake of doing something, but I don't get what's so bad about a background check. Like, there's certain things I see us go back and forth on as a country, and it boggles my mind. What's so bad about having free healthcare, of having something to where it doesn't matter who you are, you can have some basic layer of protection if you get healthy, where your wealth should not determine whether or not you're willing to go to the hospital. Where there's certain things I don't understand, like, where's the debate? And even on both sides, I went to a house the other day, right? I'm chilling, vibing with my girl, this lady, and my girl's family is freaking loaded, right? So I'm in this expensive, nice-ass neighborhood, D-Style, and you have this one lady who lives not too far from them. We're talking to, they brought her up. She got cancer. Worked harder her whole life, got a great career, had plenty of money, but she got sick. Got cancer, but she got through it the first time around, right? Insurance company after that drops her. Now she has a pre-existing condition. She can't really get insurance now, right? Gets sick again. Can't work, right? Can't work. Bills are sky high. She goes broke, ends up dying with nothing. That can happen to anybody. The fact that we're against having some type of layer that would protect against that, to where if you worked hard your whole life, because I know people love shitting on poor people for whatever, right? Well, what about the ones that work hard and you have medical bills, which I think is one of the biggest causes of bankruptcy in our nation? That's insane, man. We should have something against that. To buy a gun, you should, like, there should be a background check for that. I don't think that's so crazy to ask, to say maybe you shouldn't just hand them out like candy like that. Maybe we should have some type of layer there.
I agree. I would like to see some background checks myself. It just makes sense. And every responsible gun owner should be for it as well. You know what I mean? But those are my thoughts on that, man. Yet another shooting. Same complexion, same type of shooter. It is what it is. You know what I mean? What are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, and then another thing, too, this one we got to be too honest. And we all know that network. When are we going to start holding them accountable for this propaganda? Because mind you, while others like, you know, CNN and they're not the best either. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't watch either of them. But my whole point is, when you do get on these things, when are we going to hold that one major company responsible for this? Because they perpetuate a lot of this propaganda that you should not be allowed. I mean, I don't get into free speech, but you shouldn't be allowed to say a crisis or say it's something is an invasion when it's simply not true. When something is factually inaccurate, you should not be allowed to call the crisis at the border an invasion. Mind you, I don't really care about immigration, but how can you call it an invasion when there are less Mexican immigrants here than in the past 10 years? How can you call something?
First of all, it's invasion is like a military term, bro. Like they're making it sound like someone coming here to kill you, and like it's just I don't know. It's kind of sad, but
that right there, to me, we should like hold the same way we can ban the 4chan sites and stuff like that, because to perpetuate that, even though it doesn't, and this is another thing too, even though it might not affect me directly, I still think it's like, looking at it as a human being, that's not what that is. And people have to understand, the best way I could put it into perspective, let's just say here in America, right? something happened. Let's say Trump really messes up, right? And everything is in chaos. It becomes completely unsafe on here. Even though you have a gun, everyone else has a gun too, and it's complete chaos. Your children's lives are at stake. Everyone, it's for whatever. Something happens.
Lose you, say less. Anybody else hear him? You there?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, right? We're in a situation, things go to chaos over here. Everybody's fighting. Would you leave your kids in a war-torn environment, right? Let's just say that's fighting out in the streets, just hypothetically. Would you leave them here? Or would you try to go and take them somewhere safe? Even if you want to come back here, if you have kids, would you try to remove them from a war-torn or a war-ridden environment? Of course you would. It's natural. And would you like it to where the only place you can go to, you're trying to go there, and the people there are demonizing you? There's people that want to shoot you just for wanting to protect your kids. I'm not saying you can't want some type of immigration standard, but to not have any empathy and treat them as if like they're animals or criminals is beyond me. The whole notion that somebody would walk, right, hundreds, thousands of miles to get to this country, right, and you think that a wall is going to stop them at this point. Like, going to see a wall and say, oh, I walked 200 miles, so now I'm going to turn back. Boggles, like, to me, that shows how little they really feel as if people are just coming over here. Like, they're coming over here to work because they're lazy. It bogs my mind, DStyle, but yet people believe it. And Fox, I didn't want to say their name, but we all know that one news station is responsible for a lot of it because the lack of empathy that they have, the lack of understanding, is why so many people have all these negative thoughts and they don't understand what's going on. They can't put themselves in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't know what No Paul's talking about, but I'll take the $20. With that said, I'm gonna go ahead and roll out here, but I know they got to do something about these shooters, bro. And it's like, I'll end it with this. Like, we have shooters that are being inspired by the dude in office, bro, which is insane. You know what I mean? Yeah. And everyone's acting like it's normal. Like, oh, what do you mean? Mass shootings happen all the time, and you know what I mean? So, like, it is absolutely crazy to me. A shooting happened not that far from me just a couple of weeks ago. Another shooting happened just from a 3-hour drive from me just the other day. You know what I mean? So it's gonna keep happening, man. But to your point, I am a Second Amendment guy too. Like, I'm all for having a gun. No dude's gonna walk into my house. I got a gun. So right. At the end of the day, and but I at the same time, I don't want to live in a society where everyone's walking around with beers and six pack. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not beer. What the hell I'm talking about? I'm still looking at No Paul's trying to figure out his post, but walking around with AK-47s on their back and shit like that, we don't need that, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it all comes down to, maybe this would be like a different topic for another day, just social media in general, of a lot of people just really not having enough to live for, right? I don't know if they think of a social media, what's going on, where people are people's lives, right, are so good that they don't even have a real enemy, so they create one. That's a lot of these white terrorists, like, that's their mindset. They don't have a real enemy, so they're creating one. Life really doesn't have that much issue or purpose for them, so they're trying to find one. That's what this is. If you have real problems, I mean, this truth be told, if you have legitimate problems, immigration is one of the last things that's really on your mind. If you have legitimate problems or you have a legitimate life, because you realize how little that really affects you.
Yeah, but say this, if you're someone who your life is not going good at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If somebody, then starts telling you, whether it's Fox News, Rush Limbaugh, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they start telling you, oh, the reason your life's not going well is because, all those immigrants, I mean, they come in and they give them everything. They get free healthcare, they get free checks, they get, free food stamps, everything. They take everything you have, and you have nothing. It's not that surprising that these these actions are taking place. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's true, but Lisa, how bad are their lives really? And this is what I'm talking about, where people will legitimately live in this country that's kind of set up for them and feel like their life is bad. Like, how much are you really going through in comparison to somebody that had to come to this country? And I don't want to hear about the whole welfare thing. Well, yes, again, we should have something in place. We shouldn't just be handing out freebies to everyone or incentivize people to come here knowing that they can get on welfare. I think that we should have a path towards citizenship. And of course, I do think we should do something about it. We shouldn't just let everybody through. Don't get me wrong. But again, it all goes back into, if you're feeling like your life sucks in America and you can't somehow rationalize how somebody in like Venezuela or wherever else, like, you can't understand why they would want to get out of that situation. We're past, like, I don't even know if we can have a conversation about that. I don't even understand it. Like, I don't even know if we can get on the same level as if you think your life is hard and you're worried about how much of a percentage of our budget go to actual welfare in comparison to just military spending. I mean, come on, I was in the military, D-Style, like the amount of shit we waste money on, right? That's bogus. It's just for these other rich investors or whoever the heck they are to line their pockets. If you're more upset at poor people getting food stamps, basic health care, like some type of housing benefit, you're more worried about like poor people who don't have enough money to do anything in comparison to people who are already wealthy getting tax benefits, having the government sign contracts with them to build shit that we don't need. If you, I don't understand how it could be. I've always had this analogy, right? You're upset with the guy that runs into your house, breaks into your house to steal a TV to go do whatever, right? But at the same time, the guy that's stealing your actual house, you're somehow more sympathetic toward that guy. But that goes back to the whole media thing. People are legitimately mad and focused at the wrong individuals, man. You're mad about, Jorge getting welfare to have a house, but meanwhile, what's that dude for Amazon didn't pay $0 in taxes? Like, I mean, hey, man, it is what it is, I guess.
Man, I'm getting more money for this than boxing talk, but $4.99 from Boxing Conversations, real talk, preach, my brothers, y'all talking that truth. Absolutely. You know what I'm gonna start? I'm gonna start sneaking in like politics, like after boxing videos.
Yeah, man.
They'll never know what, like, YouTube won't know. You know what I mean? Just can't put in the title.
You have to sneak it in, man. It's sad, but I'm definitely down for it, man. Yo, D-Style has been real. Definitely, hit me up when you're trying to do this again, man.
Absolutely, man. Peace out.
Yeah, Mike.
All right, everybody. This is D-Style. Terrence Crawford, Amita's Progress are American. Yeah, great. Yeah. Trying to figure out what you mean by that, Spectrum, but it's true. But Ramirez is definitely Mexicano, though, that's for sure. Shout out to all you guys, by the way. Thank you for the love. This is DStyleBoxing. I had to go like 10 minutes ago, but I had to ask about those political questions. But I don't know when, but I'll sneak in some political shit once in a while. Okay, who's attacking you? I don't even know what you guys are talking about, but maybe I lost it. I mean, I was in a conversation. I don't even know what's going on, to be honest with you. But you two work it out. It's what I mean. But this is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing. Okay, out.